appearances.
Mary Kaliski appears for the state.
Alexander Costa on behalf of Mr. Powers, who appears via video from the Racine County Jail. Commissioner, I have not received a criminal complaint in this matter, unfortunately.
We'll email it, or Attorney Kotleski can email it.
One moment, please.
I have received a copy of the criminal complaint. I would waive its reading.
Mr. Powers has been charged in a 3-count complaint. All 3 counts allege repeated sexual assault of a child. Those are Class C felonies that carry maximum possible penalties of fines up to $100,000, imprisonment up to 40 years, or both on each.
I'll make a finding of probable cause. State's bond recommendation.
The state's asking for a $50,000 cash bond. Additionally, be asking for no contact with any victim, their families, no contact with any witnesses, no contact with any minor children, and house arrest with GPS monitoring. I understand that there's not a criminal history listed here. However, per the Sheriff's Department, they're working on multiple reports from upwards of 15 different children here. This is a very vulnerable population, and a high cash bond is appropriate given the nature of the charges here.
Commissioner, we'd ask for a cash bond not to exceed $1,000 from Mr. Powers. I mean, the state already mentioned that Mr. Powers has no criminal background here. Obviously, the charges are extremely serious. There's no getting around that fact. However, Mr. Powers has lived in the state of Wisconsin for the last 31 years. The type of employment that he did have was at roughly $15 an hour. So, I mean, realistically, anything near what the state's asking for is just going to keep him in the jail. If the court is concerned about Mr. Powers violating conditions of bond, they could certainly put him on a GPS monitoring bracelet, which would keep him at home and would, I'm sure keep him out of trouble. So we'd ask that the court give him a realistic chance of posting bond.
With regard to bond, I will set a $50,000 cash bond. As conditions of the bond, I will place him on house arrest with GPS monitoring. And then the exceptions are the standard exceptions to house arrest. Also, I'm going to order no contact with minor children, anyone under the age 18, and no contact with the individual victims who are identified.
Preliminary hearing, May 4th, 9 a.m.
Thank you.
And Mr. Farrell is refusing, so that'll be it.